Welcome back. So in this lesson, I'm going to teach you how to play the song Candyman by Mississippi John Hurt. Now this one's pretty tough to play, but it's really fun. And in this song, we've got three parts. We've got a verse, we've got a solo, and a bridge. And in this video, I'm going to teach you how to play each of those parts. And then at the end of the video, we're going to do a slow playthrough with a metronome so that you can try to play along. So let's jump right in and start going over it. So this is, like I said, this song is pretty tough, but I'm going to show you some things that might make it a little bit easier, and some things that you can drop off that are just ornaments that are not really totally necessary for the song, but make it kind of sound a little bit cooler. But let's get that basic version first. So we start with this A chord. Okay, and that's kind of the main theme. So you should try to make sure that you can get that. Now what we're doing is we're just holding this bar A chord here with our first finger, and we're alternating the thumb like that. So it only hits the E at the beginning of the phrase. Okay, pinch. Okay, we basically do that phrase twice in a row before we do this walk down. So again, I'll pick it up from there. That's a walk down. Okay, and then we're going to get over to this chord. Now this is an E7, but we're forming it in a weird, unusual way, almost like G over B or some other unusual fingering. And that's the reason we do it like that, is because we have to have this pinky left over to reach up to this fourth fret of the first string. So when we're doing that walk down, walk it down to there, first finger, land with your first finger on this note here, okay? Then you're gonna have this third finger here on the note D, the third fret of the B string. Okay, to long A. Another walk down. Second ending, we're going to slide up to that. Okay, now a couple of things that you can kind of drop off that aren't totally necessary but kind of make it sound a little bit cooler would be something, those little slides that we have. Okay, like on that section. Okay, that is just totally an ornament. You don't have to play that part. In fact, I would recommend for you to just ignore those slides when you're first learning the song. Later, when you get more comfortable putting it in there, then you can add that slide. So here's what it would sound like without the slide. Backing up to here. So that's up to you. You know, if you're struggling with this song, like anybody that's learning this song, this is a tough one. So if you're struggling with it, just drop those slides out, and you can see it notated in the tab that I provided. Also, the tab is available in the description if you want to download it. Okay, so that's kind of the main parts. Those are the main things. That's the main theme of the song, and that's how you can kind of simplify down. Just take out those slides. Now, a couple of the things that are going to be hard is this is a long A form. If you can't do this long A form, there's not really an easier way to do it. It's just you have to practice doing this, you know, holding this A with a bar here and getting the pinky up to this fifth fret on the first string. This is a chord that comes up all the time in kind of, you know, Delta blues and Mississippi John Hurt arrangements. it's even still really common in modern music today. So this is something that you should try to work on. Now, I promise that if you're just starting off, this chord feels impossible, I know. So if it feels impossible for you now, just keep working on the stretch and you'll get there eventually. I don't think that there's something wrong with your hand or your hand is too small. Everybody thinks that at first. Like nobody's hand can just reach it the first try. Eventually it feels fairly comfortable to do once you're able to kind of grab that and then you don't have to worry about it so much. So those are the parts. So for this verse, just kind of play it slowly, follow the tab, and then try to play along with the slow playthrough I provided at the beginning. Let's move on to the solo. The solo is really, really fun on this one. This is a fun solo because there's not that many solos that you get to play in this type of music, But here we got a solo in this song, and it's awesome. So basically, let's back it up, and let's hear it first. All right, really cool. So in this solo, a couple of the things that I want to talk about here. The cool part is when you get to slide all the way up, okay? It's very syncopated. So just, again, follow the tab. Look where those melody notes are falling in between this bass chuck, okay? This is an interesting bass chuck pattern because we're not just doing on the E, A, and D strings. Sometimes we're actually coming all the way over to the G string. So if you take a look at this phrase, okay, that phrase we're having the thumb move all the way over to that G string, okay, doing that boom chuck like this, okay, thumb is moving way over, and that feels really weird, if you're used to your normal boom chuck. This is a weird kind of feeling. But you'll get used to it very soon. On this solo section too, another one of the weird things here is over this D chord, when we get down to, after we do this A in the 9th position, then we go down to this D chord. Now there's a lot of ways that you can play this and it'll sound pretty much the same. Basically it starts with this pull off. Okay. Now that pull off is totally not really necessary. Now if you don't like doing that pull off, then just play it without. Just play this. Okay. And that makes it a little bit easier, although the pull-off kind of adds an extra note in there that makes it sound pretty cool. After that, you just go into that after the D. Then it goes to this A. Okay, same fingering. Okay, now again here, the thumb is moving from the low E string to the G string. So that's kind of a tough thing that happens. But you'll get used to it over time. It feels very unusual to do your boom chuck going that far down, but sometimes it does. Remember, we're always going to be breaking those rules. After that solo, then we kind of go back into it just kind of repeats the end of the verse again. So all that part is exactly the same as what we had before. It's just the verse again. All right, so upcoming next is the bridge. So here's the bridge section. We're going to play it through at one time. Sorry. So that's that bridge section with the metronome very slowly. What you'll notice here is it's basically kind of like a Robert Johnson walk turnaround, right? It's very similar to that, except we're not hitting all the same notes. We're basically, descending on the D string and then kind of walking back up to this shortened phrase, which is really, really, really similar to the phrase from the verse at the beginning, but we've shortened it. So let's take a look at that first opening phrase one more time. Okay, walking down that D string. Okay, and then just hitting a power chord, walking up this time. Okay, then kind of a weird shuffle. Okay, 04, 02. Okay, second time around, we're going to do the same phrase at the beginning, but then when we get to this note, we're going to do this. Okay. Now, what you're going to need to do there, since the thumb won't be able to play that just by itself, you need to go thumb, index. Then the rest you can have playing with the thumb. Now, you could actually do that with the thumb if you really want to, but I think that's a good technique to learn how to do, is playing, alternating the thumb and the index finger. Okay, then we go back to that shortened verse phrase. Okay, all right. So that brings us into our verse outro, which is exactly the same as what we had from the beginning, except we have a slowdown at the end, and then we're just going to strum a nice long A to finish off the song. So make sure you're slowing that part down. What's left now is just we're going to do a full slow playthrough with the metronome at 90 BPM so that you can try to play along. Take your time with this one and play it really slowly and work your way up. Now, be kind to yourself on this one because this one is very difficult. This is not as easy as some of the other ones. This is a pretty difficult song. So be easy on yourself. Give yourself plenty of time to learn it and listen to a lot of the different recordings. There's every single time he plays it, it's different. So the way he arranges it is different. The way that he's doing his boom chuck sometimes is different. Remember, this arrangement is one that I think is the most kind of standard from all his performances that I could find. this seems to be the one that's this seems to be kind of what he's mostly playing, and then he does like some small variations, mostly in the arrangement of it, or the way he's adding, where he puts the bridge or where he puts the solo and stuff like that. So if you like those arrangements, start with the solo. That's something that he does that's pretty fun and pretty cool sounding, I think. So that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one, and good luck.